Welcome back. So tonight we'll be speaking to Justin Kodua Frimpong, who is the General Secretary of the MPP. He's here with us. Yesterday was a big day for the party. The National Council held a very important meeting at their usual meeting place to deliberate on proposals made by a committee that had been set up, chaired by a very important person. Of course, Dr. Baumia was at the meeting. I'm sure you recognize him from that. There were also a few other important people there. Freddie Wosma Oble, Ali Suraj, an MPP member, Volta Regional Chairman Makafi Wanya, I believe he is, also at the program. We're not sure whether this is before or after, but the secretary tells us this is Kweku Kwating, former Deputy Finance Minister, a member of the Economic Committee. Gideon Boakun, where you see Baumia, you see Gideon Boakun. He's the MP for Tanon North and the spokesperson for the Vice President. Dr. Educhum, he declared today, I think we saw his video today, 3 minutes and a few seconds. He also has thrown his hat into the ring. So MPP has a very interesting situation. A lot of us know that Dr. Baumia obviously stand. Kennedy Japan is also there. Educhum has thrown his hat into the ring. Brian Champong is also quite keen. We are told a few more names will come up. Who else was at the meeting? Of course, we know Ahiagba and then Haruna Mohammed, who is the Deputy General Secretary. So it was a big meeting. Chairman Won to me, looking much better than a couple of weeks ago. A couple of members of parliament also there. This is I think the youth organizer, if I'm not mistaken. So all of these people were at the meeting. So it was a very, very big meeting. Of course, Apenyo marking Lord Oblitekome, Brian Champong. So these are a few people. So let me sit down and talk to Justin Kodua. Welcome to the show. Good evening.
Good evening, Bernard.
Your friends call you JFK, but I was checking that it's actually JKF. So is it Justin Frimpong Kodua or Kodua Frimpong?
It's Justin Kodua Frimpong. The
Okay.
JFK is just something like a trademark. Or,
John F. Kennedy. I see. So that's the JFK.
Yeah, that's the JFK.
You are probably the hottest general secretary in the world because your chairman, we are told, is not even necessarily working because of the letter we saw. So are you doing his job or somebody else is doing his job?
Good evening to you. And good evening to your viewers also. The party has a national chairman.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman is in team.
Okay.
And I've not taken his job.
Okay.
The chairman is the chairman. General secretary is the general secretary.
Wow. You are one of the youngest people to be made general secretary of a large party, correct? When you took over the job, you were in your
39.
39. Wow. That was massive. Yeah. How has it been so far?
Well, with the demands and the pressure that comes with it, we have been managing it very well. And in fact, I'm very calm and very focused also. And if, as a lawyer by profession, that I'm not overwhelmed with the challenges and issues that may come up. And with the Constitution as my Bible, as my guidance, so far as I follow the dictates of the Constitution, the work just flows.
MPP is seen as a party of Bukulon people. As some people say, we'll be a chair Nadrin. So if you are the general secretary of MPP, you have to deal with a lot of... I mean, there are some parties that people express their views, but it doesn't get on air that much. But MPP, we typically tend to hear your leaders speak a lot, even from the early 90s. So it means that whatever you decide, you have people who will say they agree, disagree. How is that dynamic? Explain that to me.
Well, as you indicated, the political party of our stature, and based on even on our history, our tradition, and our ideology, certainly when you are taking a decision, there will be people with various diverse ideas, diverse even orientation, and diverse presentation of facts. And all these things encompasses what we stand for as a political party. And that makes the party unique. And the party has never been centered around one person. MPP was not formed by one particular person, unlike other political parties. It's a party based on people from various diverse backgrounds, educational orientation, or philosophy, and all those things coming together to form one political party. So it's expected that a party with that magnitude background, certainly, definitely when you're taking a decision, it's not that easy, but at least people also are able to present a well-researched and well-thought-out through argument. And always, at the end of the day, once each one espouses his or her ideas, is the majority that carries the decision. And always, that's what has been the tenets of our political party. So we have lived with it. And in fact, as a center-right political party, we do welcome all these views and opinions when it comes to taking decisions for the party.
This decision that was announced yesterday, I'm correct if I said this is the first time the MPP is planning to choose its flag bearer before electing national officers within a political cycle, correct?
Well, if it happens,
if it has happened, yes.
It will become a novelty. It become a novelty. But we need to also situate it in the parameters as to how it came about, right? And if you recall, the party set up a committee chaired by Professor Michael Kwe to do a postmortem of what transpired before, during, and after the 2024 elections. And they went around the 16 regions and the 276 constituency, had an engagement with the rank and file of our party and came out with a report. Key in the report had to do with the need for the party to look at our constitution and as a living document and see where we are as a political party from the backdrop of how the elections went in 2024 and going into future, the key amendment that we need to do in order to put the party in the proper perspective for us to face the challenges ahead. So after they have submitted their recommendation to the party went further to form a constitutional amendment committee, which is chaired by lawyer Frank Davis, and to take into consideration the recommendations from Professor Michael Kwe's committee. And the party also in 2021 met in Kumasi in the National Delegates Conference to undertake some amendments, but were unable to do it. And also to look at some proposals that have come from some individuals and some quarters to bring all of them together and make it a one document for them to submit it through National Council to the National Delegates Conference, which is the higher decision-making body of the party, to decide which of the proposals will be accepted and those that will be rejected. So yesterday, the committee met National Council and they took us through the proposals that they have received, and as many as 300 proposals were sent to the committee. Then they summarized the various aspects. Some had to do with our electoral college, some has to do with certain categories of key stakeholders who hitherto were not part of the electoral college that they feel must be added to the electoral college. They also looked at the roles and functions of party executives and how to streamline it so that it becomes very clear that we know these are the roles and functions of each officer of the party. In concluding their presentation, they made the point that there are two things that stands out of all the proposals that has come to them. One has to do with whether the party will pursue the one man, one vote system.
For all party members?
For all party members to have the right to also exercise their franchise, or the limited expansion. With respect to the one man, one vote, what the committee said was that for them, it is a very good suggestion, and overwhelmingly, and many people who came to them were in support of the one man, one vote. But however, looking at the prevailing circumstances, where we are as a party, we don't really have the database of all our members, those who are interested in becoming members, those who are members and all these things. So to pursue that agenda, the membership that the party is embarking, that we are starting very soon. We need to roll that one out to ascertain or get to know the actual members who are within the party. Then two, also, the constitution also talks about members of good standing. So which means that the party members should be paying their dues and we should be able to assess the number of months or years that they have paid their dues. And also, they also spoke about the financial implications. If you are going on one man, one vote, it means that it becomes more of a polling station elections.
Almost like a national election.
Not more of like
very
a national,
big.
very big election. So that means the Electoral Commission have to set polling centers in the 40,000, over 40,000 polling stations, the logistical challenges, the financial implications, all these things comes to play. But however, the committee recommended that we should be planning towards, by the end of 2028, all these factors, having a proper database of our members, many having their own party ID cards, and members also paying their dues. Then the party will be in a proper perspective to implement the one man, one vote. But it doesn't mean there shouldn't be an expansion. If it's going to be an expansion, then there has been several proposals. Some of the view that we should expand the polling station to 7. Some are also saying we should expand it to 10. Some are also saying 15.
So I'm talking about polling station executives.
Polling station executives. And
so for now, how many polling station executives?
We have 5 per every polling station.
Okay.
And they also went further to do analysis of the cost implication of if you have the current 5 polling station executives and you want to run constituency elections, you want to run presidential elections, you want to run parliamentary elections, the cost implication, right? So these are all the various scenarios that they gave to the National Council yesterday. Then, with respect to former executives, they were also of the view that at least those who have served as constituency executives before, they should be given the opportunity to vote in the parliamentary and presidential primaries. At least a way of recognizing the roles that they play when they were executives, and also to address apathy which sets in, that a person becomes a former executive, then it's like has no connection or no engagement with the party. It's a way of bringing back and also recognizing the roles that they play. So they also discussed that former members of parliament, it's very sad that maybe a person becomes a member of parliament for a particular constituency, and when he leaves office, he's not recognized. The party is taking a decision, it does not become part of those who takes that decision. So those are the discussions that came on. Then it came to presidential primaries. The committee made the point that, again, from the various people that they engaged, overwhelmingly were of the view that it is important or imperative that the party holds its presidential primaries early. And the reason being that now if you monitor even the media space, social media platforms, WhatsApp platforms, even radio discussions and engagement, the rancor and acrimony that's associated with the impending presidential primaries, it is creating division among the party. And the best solution is for us to hold the presidential primaries as early as possible, so that after the elections, the party can unite and work together to win the elections in 2028. So that is something that has been widely accepted, that we need to hold our presidential primaries very early. Because when it comes to regional, constituency, national elections, or even polling station elections, it's not as tense and acrimonious like when it gets to the presidential primary. So that is one of the recommendations that they made. Then, as to the time, the date, and even the venue, the committee considered that per the powers granted by our Constitution, and if you refer to Article 13(1)(1) of the MPP's Constitution, it states categorically that the power to determine the venue and the date for presidential primaries lies within the bosom of the National Council. So to place more emphasis on it, I will have to read what that provision says. So 13(1)(1) reads that the election of the party's presidential candidate shall be held not later than 24 months from the date of the national election. The date and venue for the election shall be decided by the National Council, provided, however, that the National Council may, on appropriate occasion, vary the date. So this provision is making reference to when the party is in opposition, that latest or not later than 24 months to the general elections, the party should have held its presidential primaries to elect its flag bearer. So not later means even from now, even today, the party can still elect its presidential candidate.
Okay.
This power clothed with the National Council does not take cognizance of whether there is a polling station elections, whether there is electoral area elections, whether there is constituency elections, whether there is regional. Is the power granted to National Council.
Okay.
So at any point in time, when National Council made that pronouncement that we are going to hold presidential primaries in that day or on this date, then it means the electoral college, as at that time, would determine who becomes our presidential primaries
Candidate.
and presidential candidate. And when this decision was taken by National Council, there have been some mixed feelings, and some people are excited about it. Others are also apprehensive, and others have raised issues that it's not the best practice. And looking at the convention that has happened in the past, this is the first time that the party will be charting that path. But it's not the decision of the General Secretary. I did not solely...
So you've read 13.1 that clearly says that it is the decision of the National Council.
Yes.
Some people have said that while that is true, 13.1 must be read in conjunction with 10.2.1, which says that there shall be a National Annual Delegates Conference, which shall be the supreme governing body of the party.
Yes.
So their view is that for such a big decision,
Yes.
so even though they are not quarreling National Council for having that power, that decision on the date ought to be ratified by the Annual Delegates Conference, particularly because this is the first time that the date they are choosing will be before other elections are held. But when the announcement was made yesterday, it was almost described like a fait accompli, that 31st January 2026 is set. The conference will ratify other decisions, but this 31st January is not changing. That's the problem some people have raised.
Well, there are layers of authorities, right? From polling station, electoral area, constituency, region. We have the Constituency Delegates Conference, which is a high decision-making body at the constituency. We have the Regional Delegates Conference, which is a high decision-making body in the region. And we have the National Delegates Conference, which is also the high decision-making body of the party. So certainly, all these discussions that we are making here, if at National Delegates Conference, where we are going to do amendment to our constitution, there's the need to also bring these issues up. Why not? At least we are governed by the constitution of our party.
So you are not saying that
Yes.
the National Delegates Conference will not have a say, but you're saying that National Council has chosen 31st January.
Yes.
So will somebody have to raise it at National Council, at the National Delegates Conference, or you know that it will be tabled? Because as I sit here, I know that definitely the constitutional amendments will be tabled, and the conference will vote on it.
Yes.
But we do not know whether this 31st January date will be thrown to the National Delegates Conference to say, do you agree or not?
So what would be the issue in contention? Is it the date that the National Council has set, which is the issue, or whether the elections will start from the presidential, then through to national, to region, or that is the issue? Because in any case, once we attend the National Delegate Conference, the essence of the National Delegate Conference has to do with amendment of our constitution.
Okay.
You understand? So once you are going to amend your constitution, even the electoral college will change if there is going to be an expansion. You understand? Yeah. So once you do the expansion will determine the delegates who are going to vote. And if in the wisdom of National Delegate Conference, per consensus or per petitions or per discussion that may go on, that okay, this becomes our electoral college by expansion. If we are going by expansion, which expansion are we talking about? Is it from the polling station? Is it from the electoral area? Is it from the constituency? Is it at the national level? The former ministers, former constituency executive, all becoming part of the electoral college. And mind you, also guided by the tenure of office of party executives.
Yeah.
As at January 31st, will the current executive continue to be executives of the party? If they are not executives of the party, There are several ways. It's either the National Delegate Conference extend their tenure of office, which has been done before, or can decide that no, let's hold elections for these positions before we get to 31st January. So all these things are something on the table which the party has to decide on July 19th.
We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll pose a few more questions because there are other people who've raised, in fact, pointed to precedent as early as 1996, where National Council had to consult the Delegates Conference to decide on a date for election. There are also other issues. On whether the MPP is not putting the cart before the horse. Do you not deal with other matters before you even think about choosing a flag bearer? All of these and more when we come back. Stay with us.